Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be having a look at this OPPO Reno14. And I've been actually using this smartphone with my primary SIM for the last 6 odd days, and I'll give you my impressions. What do I feel about this one? In fact, OPPO had sent me both the OPPO Reno14 and the OPPO Reno14 Pro review units to me, but I tweeted about it that I had time to just test out one. And most of you said that I should check out the Reno14, so I have done that. And to be very frank guys, initially I didn't have a lot of expectations, but this is one smartphone. I would say this is a premium mid-range smartphone. You can get it for about 35,000 because it's also available in offline stores apart from being online. So again, I feel for that price this is getting a lot of things right, and in fact in a few things it actually surprised me. So let's have a closer look at the same now. This is the box. I won't get into details about everything about the box. Inside the box you have this charger itself, which is again a nice thing that they're bundling this charger. This is a 80 watt SuperVOOC fast charging, and it can completely charge the phone in just around 50 odd minutes. And we also get this case, and the big thing is that though this phone looks pretty sleek, not that heavy. In fact, this is actually having a 6000 milliamp hour battery. So again, the battery life is also very good on this one. And you also get this case with this one. To be very frank, in the last 6 odd days I have been actually using it without the case, but you do get the case bundle in the box. The first thing I wanted to actually speak about this smartphone is the build quality, and here it actually surprised me. If you look at the build from the back also, this is also glass, and this is that sort of that matte glass, and it actually looks very premium in this color. This is known as the forest green color. It's also available in some other colors, but this color looks super premium on this one, in fact, as you can see. And also this back is also glass, and also it does not attract any fingerprints. So this is a very premium feel that it gives. Also, in terms of build quality, I like that the frame that we have is an aluminum frame. So again, no plastic or polycarbonate kind of thing. So again, when you hold the phone, it gives you very premium feel. In fact, to be very frank, this phone, when you hold it, does not feel that this phone cost around 36,000. That premium it actually feels. In fact, again, as this is available also in offline stores, you can actually go to a store and check it out in person. And the first thing that you really like about this one is the build quality. Also, coming to the screen, they did not compromise here. This is actually a decent size screen, 6.59 inch screen, and I like the fact this is a 1.5K OLED screen. In fact, the color quality is very good, and I like the fact that this is having proper HDR. Of course, it's that 120 Hz refresh rate, and I like the fact that if I open Netflix, and I did test it, but I'll just show it to you. If I go to app settings and if I go to playback specification, as you can see, it does support HDR10 even in Netflix. Many smartphones do claim to have HDR, but generally that works only in YouTube and stuff, not in Netflix. But here the HDR also works in Netflix. In fact, in terms of the display quality, I have no problems with this. The display quality is really good, and even outdoors when I was taking photographs etc, the phone was very easily legible. So that way the screen quality is good on this one. Coming to the processor, this is having the MediaTek Dimensity 8350 SoC, and the interesting thing about this processor is that this is also having a dedicated AI coprocessor. That means it has an NPU, which is the NPU 780. Hence, in some of the AI task also it actually does quite well. In fact, a lot of AI integrations is there on this one. For example, let's say I'll just open one of the articles like this. I just open like this, and you have this bar over here. You can just go to this and click on AI summary on any article or anything like this, and will create a summary like this. So again, a lot of AI integration is there. I'll talk about some of the AI stuff that we can do even with the photos and stuff later on. But again, it has this built-in AI stuff, and we have this toolbar for quick actions. We can also transcribe etc, voice calls etc. So that is integrated. And coming to the OS on this one, this is having the Color OS 15. If I go over here and if I go to about the phone, it is basically having ColorOS 15, which is nothing but Android 15 out of the box. And again, as you can see, all the specs over here, I'll also have it here on the screen, but as you can see, it's coming with the Dimensity 8350 SoC, which is actually a pretty decent processor in this price range. The speakers are again stereo speakers and super loud on this one. In fact, this has to be one of the loudest in terms of speaker. And in fact, when I was watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, I didn't have to keep it above 70%. For example, let me actually give you an idea. As you can see, it's so loud. So in terms of speakers, actually, it's very good. And also, not only the speakers, well, when you're playing multimedia content, etc., it's loud. But even when you take calls on the speakerphone, it's loud. The ringtones are pretty loud. So that way, I would say, in terms of multimedia experience that you'll get with this phone, it's actually pretty good. Also, coming to the in-display fingerprint scanner, as you can see, we have it over here. It's slightly on the bottom, but again, in terms of accuracy and everything, I don't have any issues. It does a very good job. Also, something I forgot, the build quality is really good. The button feels very premium. Generally, in some of the mid-range smartphones, the button feel is slightly on the wobbly side. No, nothing like that. In terms of build quality, I have to say it exceeded my expectations. So in terms of build quality, they have done a very good. Also, it does have this IR blaster, so you can control. In fact, there is an app also. If you go to the tools, IR remote app is there. You can use that for controlling stuff like that. One thing that I do not like with this smartphone is that, again, this comes with ColorOS. That's okay, that's fine, because everything you can customize. For example, on the left, I've kept my Google Pen. By default, there is shelf, but again, in the settings, if you go, you can actually change all those things. A lot of options are there. You can change all those things. That is fine. But one thing I did not like is that by default, these were some of the extra apps that were pre-installed on this one. So by default, there are a lot of extra apps that are pre-installed on this. Yes, you can definitely actually remove it. For example, this PhonePe, etc. If I go over here, I can uninstall it. These are uninstallable. But again, by default, you will notice that so many of these extra apps are there on this smartphone. The cellular call quality was very good. Also in terms of Wi-Fi reception and mobile data, I did not have any problems. So if you are a person who a business person who takes a lot of calls, etc., with this smartphone, you will not have a problem. The earpiece, definitely, I have to say, is very clear. I would say very close to the high-end premium smartphones that we get. So that way, I would say they have done a good job. Another small thing I appreciated, I don't know, many people don't, but in terms of haptics also, the haptic feedback on this phone is actually pretty good considering the price point. I was actually not expecting that, but that is also a thing that I have noticed. One thing to note is that when I got this phone and I was just setting it up, I noticed a little bit of choppiness, but again, immediately I got two OT update. One was a 700 MB update, and after that, again, one more update came, that was a 300 MB update. So if you're getting this smartphone initially, it was also slightly getting a warm. Don't worry, apply those updates, OT updates, and after that, the phone was very smooth. Again, as you can see, very smooth. And again, guys, this is the base variant that is having 8 GB of RAM. There is also a version of 12 GB of RAM and stuff like that, but this is the base variant, and hence this also is actually performing very good. In fact, I'm very happy that OPPO didn't send us the super high-end variant that comes with 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. They sent us the the base variant. So even in this one, the RAM management was actually good. Another thing I noticed is that if I go to about the device, if you go to RAM, we also have RAM boost on this one. By default, it was at 8 GB, but I lowered it to 4 GB of RAM expansion, and I've used it, and then also I did not get any jitters or something. So that way, I would say in terms of optimization, they have done a good job. In terms of storage on this one, it is having a UFS 3.1 storage, and again, I did not have any issues with apps and all this thing. Everything actually loads very well, and as you can see, very smooth. But again, just remember, apply those 2 OT updates when you get this smartphone. Now, talking about the battery on this one, as I've told you, this one is having a 6000 milliamp hour battery, and then also the phone is not bulky, looks very sleek, and I have to say the battery life is actually excellent on this smartphone. But this is the new latest version of ColorOS. Sadly, it does not. If I go to battery stats, does not give us the SOT values, but trust me, the battery life is very good. As you can see, yesterday I charged it around let's say 4:30 in the evening, and today it's almost 1 o'clock, and still I have 61% battery life left, and I'm using the phone normally. So in terms of battery life, easily it should give you about 1.5 to even 2 days worth of battery life. In terms of SOT, that is screen on time, anywhere you can get about 7 hours to 10 hours of screen on time with this one. And I like the fact that you also get this charger in the box, which charges the smartphone pretty quickly. So that is regarding the battery life on this one. And some of you might also ask me about any heating or something. I noticed heating initially when I was just setting up the smartphone, and that I have noticed with a lot of smartphone that was the case. And after applying those 2 OT updates, everything was very smooth. Of course, when you extensively use the camera, yes, it gets warm at the back, but that is again something that I have noticed with any other phone. In general, day-to-day usage, as I told you, I was using the smartphone regularly on the past 500 days, taking calls, etc. In those scenarios, the phone did not get hot or anything. It was just getting slightly warm. That is normal situation, because so I was using it outdoors quite a bit. It also has AI functions, what do you say, Photos app, and let's go to the camera. And as you can see, I like the AI erase and all this thing that's implemented on this one. And as you can see, this is in the regular mode that I took the photograph, and this is with the 3.5x zoom. I like this photograph, but I don't like this no parking board. Let's see if we can remove, they say they have improved the AI, so let's go to the AI editor. And let's go to the AI erase. And it's saying smart lasso, so I think so I should select this. Yeah, it has selected it, and now it's recognizing it and it's trying to remove it. And as you can see, it actually did a very good job. If I compare, this is the original image and this is the edited image. As you can see, this works very well. So the AI implementations, you can save it, and works actually very well on this smartphone. Apart from that, if you're browsing stuff, anything like that, you just go to the sidebar, you want a summary, AI speak, etc. You have this directly from anywhere in the smartphone. So these are some of the things that are there. Also, in terms of general day-to-day performance, as I've told you, Antutu, you can expect about 1.32 million. Hence, it's a pretty fast phone overall, I would say. In terms of gaming, personally, I didn't do any gaming. I'm not a hardcore gamer. So if you want to check out how it does in gaming, check out some other channels. But now let's talk about one more strength of this smartphone, and I feel that is the camera. The rear camera, this is the main camera. This is a 50 megapixel. Then also we have another 50 megapixel camera. This is actually a proper 3.5x zoom with OIS. Also, the primary camera has OIS. And this is the ultra wide. That is again 8 megapixel. If I move here, this front-facing camera is also actually a 50 megapixel, and the camera interface is similar to many of the OPPO phones, as you can see. So this is the photo. You can jump between 2x, wide angle like this, 2x, we have the 3x, which is actually good, and also 7x. And again, you can also digitally go pretty high if you really want to. And also in terms of video, I like that. As you can see, this is the rear facing camera. Video, we can go to 4K 60, but I like the fact that even in the front facing camera, as you can see, we can go to 4K and 60 FPS. Also, with the front facing camera, we have some AI mode. And for example, where did it go? If I go to ultra steady option is there for steady shots. And if I go over here, you have the sound focus option. So let's say if you're doing vlogging style of videos or something like that, we are talking and there is some sound, you can use the sound focus. So your audio will come out pretty good, even if there is some background sound or something. So these are some of the things that I have noticed. But enough talking. Let me actually show you the sample shots that I have taken with this device. Let's first look at some outdoor shots, and as you can see, they come out good. It was a very gloomy, cloudy day, and this was the regular shot, and this was with that ultra wide. Some more samples. This is a regular shot, this was ultra wide, and this is actually that 3.5x zoom. One more example, this was regular lens, and this was that ultra wide. And to give you an example, regular 1x, this is that 3.5x, and this was actually finally that 7x. One more example, regular shot, and this was with that 3.5x zoom. Again, this was taken in the regular mode. Skin tones are produced well. This was in the portrait mode 1x, and you can also zoom in the portrait mode, and I feel it's doing a good job. Now moving to some samples taken in night, and as you can see in night shots also it's doing good. This is a regular shot and this was that ultra wide. One more example, this was taken with the main lens and it came out actually very good, and this was ultra wide. Some more random samples that I took at night so that you can get an idea how it does in low lighting. Again, some more sample shots, and this was actually in very low lighting and it did a good job. This was taken in the regular lens, and here I invoked the portrait bokeh mode. Now moving to the selfies with the front facing camera, and as you can see the selfies also actually come out good, and here I enabled the portrait bokeh mode with the selfies and I feel that is also doing a good job. So guys, this is the OPPO Reno 14 smartphone. What do you guys feel about the same? I feel OPPO has done a good job with this Reno 14, considering that this is also offline centric smartphone, and the retail price, if I recall, was about 38,000, but as of now there are a lot of offers, 3,000 rupees discount, 3,500 rupees discount or something, so you can get it for about between 34 and 35,000, and for that this is actually a pretty good smartphone. In fact, in terms of build quality, I have to say this has exceeded my expectations. In fact, in terms of build quality in this price range, I have to say this is one of the best that I have seen. Also, in general performance, it's actually good. And again, the big highlight I have to say is the camera on this one. The camera performance is also very good. But what do you guys feel about the OPPO Reno 14? Do let me know what do you feel about the same. Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care guys.